Did you know the City of Gary has a 311 app? You can report any non-emergency request right from your smartphone. Need help dealing with unfair landlords? Use the app.
Girl, I just don't understand. I'm paying rent, and my landlord isn't fixing any of the issues in this apartment. What should I do?
You know you can report it on the Gary 311 app. Do you have it?
What's that?
Let me show you. Just go to your app store.
Or maybe you need to request the birth certificate.
Damn, I can't find my birth certificate.
Oh, it probably just got misplaced during the move. Actually, we can request a new one through the Gary 311 app.
Okay. New technology. I'm in.
Let me show you.
And guess what? You can even report illegal dumping.
Look at him! Just dumping his garbage on private property.
Well, caught him in 4K. You know we can report him on the Gary 311 app and to GPD's Taste a Tip?
That's good.
Never feel frustrated again about an issue. Use the Gary 311 app to report all your non-emergency needs. It's a free application that allows users to report community issues, pinpoint the location with GPS, attach photos, and more. All right from your smartphone. Download the Gary 311 app today. Available on iOS and Android.
Hi, my name is Crystal Melton. I am the First Lady of the great city of Gary. And it is that time of year again when we celebrate the amazing women that we have here in the city of Gary. This is our second annual Ladies First celebration of women. We have an amazing speaker, Kyra Epps, the wife to comedian Mike Epps. She's also an executive producer as well as a mother. I look forward to seeing you there on Saturday, March 8th from 11 to 2 p.m. at Marquette Park Pavilion. I am looking forward to this afternoon of fellowship and networking as we celebrate the amazing women in our great city. I hope to see you there.
City of Gary has a 311 app? You can report any non-emergency request right from your smartphone. Need help dealing with unfair landlords? Use the app.
Girl, I just don't understand. I'm paying rent, and my landlord isn't fixing any of the issues in this apartment. What should I do?
You know you can report it on the Gary 311 app. Do you have it?
What's that?
Let me show you. Just go to your app store.
Or maybe you need to request the birth certificate.
Kim, I can't find my birth certificate.
Oh, it probably just got misplaced during the move. Actually, we can request a new one through the Gary 311 app.
Okay. New technology. I'm in.
Let me show you.
And guess what? You can even report illegal dumping.
Look at him! Just dumping his garbage on private property.
Well, caught him in 4K. You know we can report him on the Gary 311 app and to GPD's Taste Tip?
That's good.
Never feel frustrated again about an issue. Use the Gary 311 app to report all your non-emergency needs. It's a free application that allows users to report community issues, pinpoint the location with GPS, attach photos, and more. All right from your smartphone. Download the Gary 311 app today. Available on iOS and Android.
Hi, my name is Crystal Melton. I am the First Lady of the great city of Gary. And it is that time of year again when we celebrate the amazing women that we have here in the city of Gary. This is our second annual Ladies First celebration of women. We have an amazing speaker, Kyra Epps, the wife to comedian Mike Epps. She's also an executive producer as well as a mother. I look forward to seeing you there on Saturday, March 8th from 11 to 2 p.m. at Marquette Park Pavilion. I am looking forward to this afternoon of fellowship and networking as we celebrate the amazing women in our great city. I hope to see you there.
Did you know the City of Gary has a 311 app? You can report any non-emergency request right from your smartphone. Need help dealing with unfair landlords? Use the app.
Girl, I just don't understand. I'm paying rent, and my landlord isn't fixing any of the issues in this apartment. What should I do?
You know you can report it on the Gary 311 app. Do you have it?
What's that?
Let me show you. Just go to your app store.
Or maybe you need to request the birth certificate.
Kim, I can't find my birth certificate.
Oh, it probably just got misplaced during the move. Actually, we can request a new one through the Gary 311 app.
Okay. New technology. I'm in.
Let me show you.
And guess what? You can even report illegal dumping.
Look at him! Just dumping his garbage on private property.
Well, call them in 4K. You know we can report them on the Gary 311 app and to GPD's Taste Tip.
That's good.
Never feel frustrated again about an issue. Use the Gary 311 app to report all your non-emergency needs. It's a free application that allows users to report community issues, pinpoint the location with GPS, attach photos, and more. All right from your smartphone. Download the Gary 311 app today. Available on iOS and Android.
To the City of Gary Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for January 29th, 2025. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Let's start by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please confirm quorum, a legal meeting by roll call.
Member Green. Member Allen. Present. Secretary Morgan. Present. Vice President Dumas. President Suggs.
Present.
Mr. President, you have 4 present and 1 absent.
With 4 members present and 1 absent, we have a legal meeting. We can conduct the business of the board. At this point, item number 3 on our agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve meeting minutes from January 22nd. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion on the floor and properly seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting minutes have been approved. Let's move to item number 4 on our agenda, claims.
Mr. President, we have before us claims to be paid on January 31st, 2025. General fund is $47,697.62. Special revenues including motor vehicle highway, local roads and streets, park department, health and human services, vehicle auction, community development, law enforcement training, mayor's donation fund, COVID-19 health and COVID-19 CDBG, $115,774.81. The ambulance non-reverting, general fund casino, public safety income tax, ARPA rescue plan, market park, fire pension fund, and police pension fund, $1,783,332.82. Total to be paid on January 31st is $1,946,805.25.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion for claims to be paid on January 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green.
Yes.
Member Allen.
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 no, claims for January 31st have been approved.
We also have ratification of payroll and claims. For payroll withholdings, $159,316.17 for January 24th. And for general fund, $58,349.66 for January 23rd.
May I have a motion for ratification of claims and payroll to be paid?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second to pay ratification of claims and payroll. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 no, ratification of claims and payroll payment has been approved.
That concludes claims.
Thank you. Item number 5 on the agenda, correspondence and agreements.
Mr. President, first we have correspondence from the Gary Police Department, which is the swearing in of 3 special police officers. I don't have the oaths.
I have the oaths.
Okay, all right, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Great, thank you. It's always a great opportunity to have the chance to swear in our officers. Officers, may you please rise. Mr. Bradley, Mr. Collins, and Mr. Prince, it's my pleasure to swear you in. What I'd like for you to do is raise your right hand. I will ask you to repeat me, and when I ask for names, just interject your individual names. We'll do all 3 of them at once. I, please interject your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Indiana. And that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties as a special police officer for the city of Gary, Indiana. According to the law. In the best of my ability. So help me God. You are now appointed. Thank you.
We sincerely thank you all for what you've already done, and you each have a long history in public safety. I don't know, Mr. President, do we want to let them say a word or two?
Certainly. Please, if you have something that you'd like to share with the board.
Okay, thank you. That'd be great.
So I'd say these guys, I appreciate what you guys are doing, what you've been doing. You guys are an intricate part of the safety and security of the city of Gary, because you guys actually secure the mayor. So appreciate what you guys are doing, and look forward to working with you guys in the future.
Okay, thank you all. We
Thank you.
appreciate you. All right. So you would need to
Yes.
sign your oaths?
Yes.
Okay,
Just look at
okay.
signatures and bring them back to us.
There you go. It'd be good, but Genesis got it.
Genesis will take them for a signature.
Oh. I thought Genesis. Genesis is gonna handle them signing it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she took the oaths out.
Okay, I think they're supposed to follow her.
Okay, back to our agenda. Item number B, correspondence from Public Works Department.
Okay, so,
Mark International, looks like.
a second. Do we have it? I'm not sure. That was the one, wait, I mixed up my copies now. Did you
I
get one
just
from
handed out Mark
International?
International and Taft.
I got two tabs, so I didn't
Okay, I think they may be
do it
tabled
right.
as well.
Something I did wrong. Sorry about that. So, with the agreement for professional services with Mark International is as follows. So this will be effective February 1st, 2025. Mark International LLC is located at 4169 Oak Lane in Gary. The scope of services is the contractor agrees to provide security services as designated by the city, including one uniformed security guard Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The person provided and the contractor are independent contractors and non-employees of the city. The term will expire December 31st, 2025. The compensation is an amount not to exceed $39,424. The contractor must submit invoices for payment at the hourly rate of $22 per hour. They have to bill on a monthly basis and otherwise comply with our procurement policies. And the QC40 is attached. And so with that, I move that we approve the contract for professional services with Mark International LLC to provide security services for the city.
There's a motion on the floor. May I have a second?
Actually,
We got the QC 12, but not the QC 40.
you're right.
So do we want to table this until we have the QC 40? Can this wait for approval until next meeting?
Is anybody here from?
Yes, and yes, we can wait. I do know that we do have an executed QC 40, not sure why it's not attached, but it can keep until next Wednesday. This is a renewal of an existing contract. It's actually been reduced by the number of actual security guards. It was for the health department as well as the bus station. And because of the Greyhound partnership, the service at the bus station is no longer needed.
Okay. All right, so.
I mean, if she's stating that there is a QC 40, it's just for whatever reason not attached here, and it's been approved by finance.
Okay, no, I can't say that it has.
Okay.
All of our documents should have QC 40 attached to it.
True.
All right, so with that, I move that we actually table the agreement for Mark International as well as Cutright Lawn Care because I'm not seeing that in, huh?
I think Cutright doesn't have an attached QC 40 for Cutright.
I know they found it.
Yeah.
I thought that one was attached, I'm sorry.
I thought it was too.
So I move that we table Mark International LLC and Cutright Lawn Care until we receive the approved QC 40. Is there?
There's a motion on the floor.
So move. I'm sorry, second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Items have been tabled till next meeting.
It is attached?
It is attached. We're looking at it.
Okay. Well, the
For which,
Although it's attached, I don't think all of us have the contracts, and we have not had the opportunity to review them.
all right. I'm sorry about that. Okay. So the next thing on our agenda is correspondence from the mayor's office. We have an agreement for the administration of the Gary Blight Elimination Program. It's an agreement with the RDA, which is as follows. Whereas the City of Gary Common Council on March 26, 2024 passed ordinance number 2024-9679, which was also amended on March 26, 2024, establishing a special fund to accept donations for the blight elimination for the GMTDD in support of the act, which is, I believe, is State Law 430, Senate Bill 434. Whereas on or about May 22nd, 2024, the RDA and HRNI Holdings, DBA Hard Rock, Northern Indiana, entered into a certain blighted property demolition fund agreement, and that agreement provided that HRNI, which I'll just shorten that to Hard Rock, committed to contributing $3 million to the city fund to be used for the city fulfilling its obligation to have local matching funds for the city's blight elimination program. Whereas pursuant to the Blighted Property Demolition Fund Agreement, the RDA received the fiscal year 2024 city funds in the amount of $3 million from the city owner about June 1st, 2024, which funds were deposited into the fund consistent with the requirements of the Act. And whereas the City Council on December 10, 2024 also passed ordinance number 9734 appropriating $3 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds to the city fund for use by the city fulfilling its obligation for fiscal year 2025 under the Act to transfer the same amounts of the RDA for deposit into the fund, which is the fiscal year 2025 funds. And whereas on or about December 23rd, 2024, the RDA and the city entered into a second Blighted Property Demolition Fund agreement whereby the RDA agreed to receive and deposit fiscal year 2025 city funds into the fund consistent with the requirements of the Act, and whereas the city and the RDA now desire to enter into this agreement to outline the agreed upon process and procedures that will be utilized by the city and the RDA to administer and implement a Gary Blight Elimination Program using the monies in the fund in accordance with the requirements of the Act. Now, therefore, in consideration of the mutual agreements contained herein, the party agrees to administer those funds and conduct the Blight Elimination Program in accordance with provisions of this agreement. I'm going to just touch on a few of them. One is compliance with the Indiana Unsafe Building Law Act, which is Indiana Code 36-7-9-1 at SEC. Only qualified contractors can be used. That paragraph says the parties agree that any work to demolish qualified properties as part of the Blight Elimination Program shall be performed by a contractor licensed and qualified under Indiana law. We agree to public procurement of qualified contractors in accordance with requirements set forth in Indiana Code 36-7-9-11 and Indiana Code 36-1-12. We agree to comply with the Access to Public Records Act. We both agree that this shall be governed by Indiana law. There's no third-party rights under this agreement. Nothing in this agreement shall be construed to give any rights or benefits to anyone other than the parties involved. And the term of this goes from now until June 30th, 2047. So, and this is also subject to appropriation, except with respect to those funds that as a matter of law are not subject to an appropriation by the General Assembly. The parties acknowledge that the monies in the fund are subject to biennial appropriation by the Indiana General Assembly, and the availability of the amounts necessary to fund such appropriations. The obligation of the RDA to fund does not constitute that paragraph is cut off. But basically, those are overall the terms of this agreement. And with that, I move that we approve the agreement for the administration of the Gary Blight Elimination Program with the RDA.
There's a motion to approve the agreement of the Gary Blight Elimination Program between the City of Gary and Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this motion?
Yes, at the top of the agreement, it says it's a draft. Is that correct? Draft confidential?
No, that just should have been eliminated.
Okay.
It's not a draft. This would be the final
The
agreement
final.
that we enter into.
Okay.
Any additional discussion? Hearing none, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 no, the motion carries. Thank you.
Next, Mr. President, I move that we table the contract for professional services with CJMW LLC, and that's because we are recommitting to our principles of we're not going to approve things unless the QC40 is attached, and there's no QC40, and that is my bad. So I move that we table it until next week when we have a QC40. So that's my motion. Motion to table
Motion.
agreement with CJMW LLC.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second?
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye, the motion has been tabled. Thank you. Contract has been tabled, I'm sorry.
So next, Mr. President, we have a contract for professional services with Melissa Soline. There is a QC40, it's the last page, and it looks like it's been approved by the Finance Department on, it looks like 12/17/2024. So I know that our director of that department is here to discuss this. So I move that we approve this, but I'd also like for her to come up and explain the scope. So that's my motion.
It's a motion on the floor. Can we have a second?
Second?
It's been moved and properly seconded. Please take the mic. Thank you. The right one, yes.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Board of Public Works. Melissa Saline is contracted as the Sustainability Coordinator for the Office of Sustainability and Environmental Affairs, and provides professional services, those services to us on a part-time basis. She definitely assists with grant projects as well as plans that we have available in the coordination of several groups like the Gary Environmental and Sustainability Advisory Council, as well as our Gary Community Ambassadors Program, and helps me out quite a bit with keeping those things in order. So I'm asking for approval. Is there any additional information that you need on her?
Just the amount not to exceed is
Is it $50,000?
$50,000 at the rate of
85?
Oh, we have to fix this. So it says, it's written out $85 per hour, but in parentheses it says $90 an hour. What's her proper rate?
What's the proper rate? 85.
Okay, all right, we'll correct that in the version that we sign. Okay, and this contract will go from January 1st through December 31st, 2020?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right. Are there any questions?
Yes. Isn't Melissa also assisting us with the solar grant?
Yes, so she's helped me on a lot of grant projects. Yeah.
There's a scope that's at the back, and one second, I'll just read it real quick. Proposed scope of work is support the OCEA. What's the OSEA?
Office of Sustainability and Environmental Affairs.
Dyslexic today. Their ongoing efforts on both solar power, adoption and climate action, and resilience in Gary. Specifics including Indiana Solar for All projects, update the city's GHG emissions inventory, continue implementation of the city's climate resilience plan, including incorporating resilience actions and upcoming projects and submitting to the Plan Commission for approval, administer the OSEA Community Ambassador Program, attend OSEA staff meetings weekly, manage the formation of the Greater Gary Environmental and Sustainability Advisory Council, grant a project management for the city's 2 year USDA National Institute of Food and Agriculture Composting Grant. Coordinate with the director on the OSCA's 2025 sustainability-related priorities and key performance indicators. Manage the city's Environmental Resilience Institute McKinney Fellow, should the city choose to participate in a cohort in 2025, and support the department's efforts of fundraising for projects including research, funding opportunities, identifying and engaging partners on grant applications, and assisting with the development of grant applications. And this $90 an hour appears in that too, so we have to fix that in the addendum as well. All right.
Any additional questions for witness? Thank you.
Thank you. Should I say?
We're probably gonna have you come back for metric is yours as well.
Metrics, Attorney Molino said we should hold on Occupy because something else he needs to do there.
Can we complete the vote on the motion?
Yeah, I just didn't want her to go far.
I'm not gonna go far.
Roll call, please.
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no's.
With voted 4 yes and 0 against, motion carries.
Okay, so just a side note, Ms. Scott Henry, is engineer maintenance under you as well? Okay. So all right. Well, then next we have engineer maintenance.
Okay.
I don't have engineer maintenance in my packet. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. All right, so, Mr. President, next we have a contract with Engineer Maintenance Incorporated. They're an Indiana corporation. The contractor agrees to provide maintenance and inspection services at the closed Gary sanitary landfill and set forth herein. Specifically, the contractor will perform items set forth in the document entitled Engineering Maintenance RFQ of Services, including rates, which is a 7-page document dated October 12, 2024, and which is attached as Exhibit 3. The compensation under this contract is for $35,120 during the term of this contract. The contractor shall submit detailed invoices to receive payment. They agree to comply with our procurement policies and procedures. And this contract is from January 1st, 2021 through November 30th, 2025. So with that, I move that we approve this contract with engineer maintenance. Is there a second?
Thank you.
I'll just move it along.
Any discussion on the motion that has been moved and properly seconded?
Okay, would you like to give details? Thank you.
Okay, you did pretty good though. So engineered maintenance is one of our contractors to help us in the Gary closed landfill. So the Gary landfill is under management by IDEM, and our department has been overseeing that work, working closely with the regulators. And we are under a 30-year post-closure plan. We are the landfill will eventually close, hopefully, in 2029. In the meantime, under the post-closure plan, we're required to do maintenance and monitoring activities. One of the things that we must do is maintain the equipment, the gas collection equipment, as well as any other electrical equipment that may be in the landfill. So they helps us out with maintaining or providing regular maintenance on equipment as identified in our post-closure plan. So every quarter, this contractor will go out and assess all of our solar flares and all of the active flares in the landfill, make sure that all of the equipment is up to date. They also manage the main flare, which is the biggest thing that we just invested almost $2 million in wrapped it up early last year. But we are required to maintain this system in the landfill, so that's why we need their services, and these services annually.
This is the same landfill that last year someone got into?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, had an incident out there.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yes.
Any further questions or discussion? May we have roll call for approval?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
And President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the motion carries for the approval of the contract with Environmental
Okay, Mr. President, next.
Maintenance Inc. Engineering Maintenance Inc. I'm sorry.
Okay, next, Mr. President, we have Metric Environmental. It's a contract for professional services. The contractor under this contract would agree to provide services set forth in proposal dated September 16, 2024, which is attached here too. The contractor would be paid $81,600 during the term of the contract. The term is from the effective date, which would be today, through December 31st, 2025. And the QC40 is attached. So with that, I move that we approve the contract with Metric Environmental for professional services.
So motion on the floor to approve contract with Metric Environmental LLC. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this motion?
Ms. Scott Henry, would you explain?
So Metrics Environmental provides monitoring services for us. So one of the, in the Gary Sanitary Landfill, we're required to do surface emission monitoring. So that means that they have this special equipment that we use, and they have to walk all the way around the landfill. And if you've ever seen one of their invoices, but the plan is laid out by IDEM, and then they have to follow the requirements set forth in that scope of work, and that's what we have them do. So they not only do surface emission monitoring, but they also do ground cover monitoring, and they also do our groundwater monitoring for us. So that's what we have there. And one of the reasons why the cost has increased, and we're trying to get that down, is because the regulators asked us to increase the number of times that we have to do groundwater monitoring, and that analysis alone is very expensive. So they really wanted us to do it on a bi-monthly basis, but we've stuck with a quarterly for right now, and we hope that we can maintain that. And if we have no issues, eventually we can ask them to reduce that back to maybe semi-annually, then go back to annually like it used to be when I first started monitoring the landfill.
Was there an issue, the reason why IDEM?
No, they changed it, yeah, they changed their statistical monitoring requirements for certain contaminants that are out there. And arsenic, which is naturally occurring parameter, it still has, IDEM has begun to monitor it a little bit more. And so as a result, they want us to also do the same thing. And that's costly. That increases our cost in the landfill, but we comply.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 opposition, the contract for Metric Environmental LLC has been approved.
Okay. Now, Mr. President.
Yes, please.
We should move to, well, I'm gonna move to table Occupy Community Services until next weekend, but I also have a question. Does the Taft contract, the Tober contract, and the Smith-Sursick contracts, do they have QC40s? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna. It's painful, but I make a motion that we table Occupy Community Services, the Taft Law Agreement, the Tolbert Agreement, and the Smith-Sursick Agreement until next week when we have completed and approved QC40s for each of those contracts.
Would you repeat those just one more time for me, please?
My motion is to table Occupy Community Services, Tolbert and Smith-Sursick. Did I do what? Occupy Community Services, Taft Law, Tolbert and Smith-Sursick, table them until next week.
Motion on the floor, may we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the motion to table those contracts have been approved.
Okay, so next, let me get this together.
Second Amendment to ground lease?
Yeah, and I read it this morning.
I don't know if it made it. I thought it was in there, but it is in there? It's not.
Amendment to ground.
I can go over it real quick for you. I do have extra copies if we want to take that.
So first I'll do, I move that we approve the Second Amendment to the ground lease for 6200 Industrial Highway, which is an extension of time for the due diligence period. So that's my motion.
Mark, you gotta? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to add to Carla, so
And
that,
so I made the motion.
oh, yeah.
There's a motion on the floor for a Second Amendment to lease. May I have a second to the motion?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. It's open for discussion first,
Attorney Molina, would you?
Sure. So it's just a simple amendment. We entered into the ground lease with the city as a landlord back in August, which was approved by the board. And then in December, we had one amendment to the lease. This is a second amendment. All it's doing is there's a due diligence period that will expire on January 31st. They've asked for an extension of the due diligence period till February 26th. It doesn't affect anything else in the contract other than that due diligence period.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussions or questions?
No, just this is an important project, and I think that we should approve it and keep things moving with this. That's all. And we can answer any questions anybody may have about it.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Discussion? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the motion carries to Second Amendment to the lease.
All right, next, Mr. President, we have a vending contract with the FSSA. This contract, which is with the state FSSA, is to provide for vending at certain city locations. The contract commences February 1st, 2025, remains in effect until January 31st, 2029. And let me find, there's a, so this contract is to provide drink machines and snack machines at various locations in the city, which include the Gary Public Safety Facility at 555 Polk, Gary General Services at 900 Madison, and Gary City Hall, which is here at 401 Broadway in the basement. So they're the current vendor, so this again would extend our agreement till 2029. And with that, I move that we approve the vending contract with FSSA as we approve it as written.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the contract with FSSA. May I have a second to the motion?
Second?
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this motion?
Yes, I'd like to know if we tried to negotiate a percentage of the sales.
Mr. Dumas would be able to answer that. I don't know the answer to that.
I'm thinking that if we're allowing them to sell in our buildings, that we should get a percentage. Unless there's something that prevents us from doing that.
Certainly don't push back. They're using our power.
Yes.
I do not know the answer.
I think we should find out.
So, would you like me to amend my motion to table it?
Yes, that's fine.
I'm going to withdraw my previous motion and do a new motion that we table this until we can find out if there's an opportunity to negotiate for a portion of the proceeds.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor to table this contract for FSSA until we confirm whether or not the city has considered getting a percentage of the sales. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries. Contract is tabled for clarification. Thank you.
All right, so next, Mr. President, we have a contract with Charles Taylor TPA. He's located at 1801 North Mill Street in Naperville, Illinois. This contract is for third-party administrative services for the City of Gary's workers' compensation plan pursuant to the terms and conditions of third-party administrative services agreements attached hereto as Exhibit A and incorporated herein. The CTTPA performs this agreement as an independent contractor, shall not act as an employee of the city. The term starts retroactive to January 1st, 2024. I think that should be 2025. And ending on December 31st, 2025. Compensation is for $43,827, subject to the terms and conditions provided on pages 7 and 8 of Exhibit A. There is a QC40 form that's attached to the approved. So with that, I move that we approve this contract with Charles Taylor, CTTPA, for third-party administration services for the city's workers' compensation plan as written.
Motion on the floor to approve the contract for Charles Taylor TPA, not to exceed $43,827. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have a roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 against, the contract approval for Charles Taylor TPA has been approved.
So, Mr. President, the last item in my packet is the Cut Right Lawn Care, but, no.
We already tabled.
Occupational health services?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so Occupational Health Centers of the Southwest PA, which is doing business as Concentra Medical Centers, is located at 5080 Spectrum Drive, Suite 1200, West Tower, Addison, Texas. The scope of services for this is the contractor agrees to provide occupational health and medical services for on-the-job injuries, accidents, and randomized drug screenings. A full breakdown of the services are found in Exhibit 3 and incorporated herein. The contractor agrees to comply with all applicable federal, state, and local laws, rules, regulations, and ordinance. The term of the contract is from now through December 31st, 2025. The compensation under this contract is not to exceed $45,000. Contractor shall submit itemized invoices for payment. Gotta fix that part. We can, QC40 is attached. So, one change we need to make is at the bottom of page 2, where it says the contract shall submit an itemized invoice for payment, and then it names someone who's no longer with the city. So we need to update that or just name that position by title. So we'll fix that in the version that we signed. So with that amendment, I move that we approve the contract with Occupational Health Centers of the Southwest as amended.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve the contract with Occupational Health Centers of Southwest PA, providing the amendments are followed through. This contract, again, is not to exceed $45,000. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 4 yes and 0 no, the contract with Occupational Health Centers of the Southwest PA with said amendments has been approved.
Mr. President, that concludes correspondence.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to go to item number 6 on our agenda, unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business that goes before the board today? Let's move on to item number 7, new business. Is there new business to be presented to the board today?
Mr. President, I'd just like to discuss, and it was discussed in our big staff meeting earlier this week, that this board is working to become more efficient and kind of keep things better organized. So that was the reason why this meeting was run a little different. And I know that you know, I'm just saying it for people who are watching.
Please.
So that's all.
Thank you. I appreciate the acknowledgement of the effort.
Right, and we want to make Rachel and Genesis' lives just a little bit easier if we can.
Thank you.
That's all.
I'd like to ask our staff, do we have any public comment in queue?
No, we do not.
I don't see the list, but I'd like to open up the floor for public comment.
President?
Yes, Mr. Nowacki, would you please go to the mic and push the green button for us? Thank you. The button on the right.
It's not green, but it is now. Good evening, board. My name is Jim Nowacki. I'm a resident in the 2nd District here in Gary, Indiana, and pleased to attend today's meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety. I'm particularly interested in an item that had been tabled today, and that's under correspondence from the Law Department professional service contract for the firm of Smith Surtick. I know Kevin Smith is actively involved in clearing titles, tax sale properties, and I would further comment that while the city of Gary should really not be in the business of clearing these titles and acquiring these properties at the tax sale, for two reasons. One is that the Redevelopment Commission is primarily responsible for acquiring properties. And of course, over the years, they've acquired 10,000 properties for the city of Gary, all laying fallow and without being any particular use, and all of them costing a tremendous amount of money, both in legal fees and in taking these properties off the tax rolls. As a matter of fact, even taking them from citizens who may have owned those properties. So I would commend the Board of Public Works and Safety for tabling this particular contract, but I would also emphasize that the Board of Public Works and Safety should take it to heart that, number one, the city of Gary should not be in the business of acquiring these properties at tax sales. Number two, the Redevelopment Commission, while in the position to take that responsibility, should also not be in the business of acquiring these properties. And three, the firm of Smith Surdick, while they've made hundreds of thousands of dollars acquiring these properties and with no benefit, no discernible benefit to the city. So take these several points to heart, and it's a very good reason to not table the professional service contract with Smith Surdick, but reject it, and keep in mind that that they shouldn't be replaced with another firm. The city should simply not be in the business of irresponsibly taking these properties from owners of the property, putting them into a situation where they're both off the tax rolls and a liability for the city. And number three, we shouldn't be in the business of enriching the firm of Smith Surdick and doing this non-essential, as a matter of fact, damaging business. So I'm going to be very anxious to attend next meeting, and I hope that my comments and my suggestions are taken to heart and that this contract is not tabled but rejected at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Nowacki. The city is not in the business of unfairly taking property from anyone or irresponsibly managing properties when property owners irresponsibly fail to maintain and take and pay the taxes on properties. That's when they appear on the tax sale. And Smith Sursick and Kevin Smith are being engaged by the city to help our blight elimination efforts. So, and the city is actively working to eliminate blight in the city for purposes of public safety, for improving quality of life for our residents, providing economic opportunity. We're trying to build up the city. And so the services of responsible attorneys with good reputations that Smith Sursick and Kevin Smith have are very important to that effort. And while the dollar amounts of contracts you may have seen before may be high, he's not making hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit. He is paying for the title services, filing fees, and other things that have to be paid for the services that he's doing. And he does that as a pass-through. So while, you know, it may be an eye-popping dollar amount, that is not profit. Those are fees that he's paying to record deeds, do title work, and other things for the city. So just wanted to set the record straight on that. And the city is going to continue aggressively pursuing its blight elimination program, because we can only improve by eliminating the blight in the city so we can build and improve what we have. So that's just wanted the public to understand. We're not in the business of just giving contracts away and giving money away for people to do nothing. We are holding people accountable. We're getting efficient service for our money, and we're working real hard to improve everybody's quality of life. It's very important to Mayor Melton that we do that. So, but thank you for your comments. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Attorney Morgan. Any other comments from the public? Hearing no more.
I have one more.
Please, thank you. Would you push the button on the right?
Good morning, Board. My name is Sonia Jones. I'm new to the city structure. I am the new safety operations manager for Gary Public Transportation. But my comments today are not in regards to Gary Public Transportation. It's in regard to the solar project that was just approved. I personally have been participating with the state of Indiana at the Indiana Solar Renewable Energy Day project for the last 2.5 years, and I have tried to be aggressively active with the city on any actions that we wanted to do with community solar. So my questions are administratively, how are these contracts posted? Where are these posted? The time periods that they're posted, so that people that are actually already engaging in the work of building and bringing solar and communicating with the state legislator and representatives can be participants or even offer the services to participate in bringing solar to the community of Gary.
So in response, we advertise projects and request for bids in compliance with state law, but we also post everything on our website. So I suggest that you check our website weekly for those opportunities. You should also meet with Ms. Brenda Scott Henry, who was here earlier, because she's over our green urbanism, and so these projects will come under her purview. So I suggest you reach out to her, perhaps have a meeting, so you'll understand kind of an overview of what we have planned for the next few years, so that your organization and others who you may work with will have an idea of when those opportunities are coming. You can also make proposals to the city, and if we vet those proposals, maybe there's opportunities in the future to find ways to work with your group. So,
Let me just also respond. We have not yet started the program. We're actually still in conversation with the state in the planning stage. As a matter of fact, we're trying to get the budget completed. And once the budget is completed and the planning stage is done, then it'll be open up to the public. Yes, Melissa. So Melissa Salone, the person that we contracted with, that's one of her responsibilities. She is one of the people that is on our Zoom calls that we're having with the state in the planning stage. So we haven't.
So she's actually a contract. It was not bid out. So she's a contract employee. She's providing professional services. The state law does not require you to bid out professional services, although sometimes we do it anyway. So for the role of coordinator, that's not something that would have been advertised for bid. She's been with the city for years. I'm not sure how long. But for actual, again, what Ms. Green explained is that this is just the planning phase. There's going to be segments of this project that will be bid out. And so you should watch the city's website, and for projects of a certain dollar amount, we've got to advertise in the newspapers. So you should watch, local newspapers' websites for that. But I certainly suggest you monitor the city's website, because you won't have to hunt for what's in the newspaper. Weekly, just look at the website. Okay, and so those will be advertised. But I'm going to reiterate, if you meet with Ms. Scott Henry, you can get an overview and kind of see where opportunities might be coming up for your group. So, we in this administration are striving for transparency, and then we're also striving for efficiency. So, if you got a great service to offer, we're interested, but you just got to talk to the person in charge of the project. So.
Any additional questions or comments from the public? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Where's that gavel?